pressure from these guys. Let's go to Baton Rouge. Big Baby sitting on the bench. He's had the right quad problem. Damian Mason there to slam it home, and LSU went up by 13. Dick.
I tell you, LSU playing without Big Baby. What an incredible performance.
LSU leading by 11. Garrett Temple to Magnum roll. 21 points in the first half. Fewest for Florida all year. Perimeter shooting was a problem, Jay.
It really was a problem. 2 of 17 from free from Florida. They kept firing them up, and they couldn't knock anything down. Torian Green, 1 of 7, and they weren't missing by a little. They were missing by a lot.
All right, when a shooter gets off like that, what do? Hubert, keep shooting?
Well, you got to keep shooting, but they did, but you also have to try to get to the free throw line. They struggled from the free throw line in this game.
LSU staying strong as Florida tried to rally. Tasman Mitchell inside.
Inside. LSU came with a purpose to win this game. They knew Glenn Davis didn't play, but the fact is Florida did what they had the right game to win. They weren't in the mindset to win.
And that smaller lineup helped LSU. They were able to...
Also a theme of the day, Oklahoma State has been in free fall against Bob Knight and Texas Tech. In fact, the Pokes' only victory in their last 6 have come against Texas Tech. Terrell Harris misses the 3, but David Mons was there. Cowboys pulled to within 2. And then Martin Zeno goes strong and winds up with 13.
Zeno ends up with 13 points, but you know the balance in this team with Jarius Jackson not scoring well, that was still a plus for Texas Tech's offense.
Cowboys behind Mario Bogan pulling to within 1. He had 17, and then John Plefka of Tech would hit the jump.
I'll tell you one thing. I think Tech locked himself up a bit with this win here. The 2 over A&M. Bobby Knight and company is going to be rolling.
Oklahoma State had all kinds of chances. Mario Bogan just lost track of the score, apparently. He didn't need the 3 here.
Yeah, in that situation, you go for the two desperation threes at the end really cost Oklahoma State a tie.
59-57 the final, and now look at Sean Sutton's team. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games, and since the formation of the Big 12, no team has made it to the NCAA tournament with 8 conference losses, and that is conference loss number 8 for the Cowboys right now. Clemson also has been in free fall since starting 17-0. They had lost 8 of 10. Jared Dudley and Boston College trying to avoid their 3rd straight home loss. In the second half, Boston College down by 4. Dudley working inside.
Dudley was the go-to guy today. 23 points, 11 rebounds. He took it over between him, Marshall, and Wright. They combined for 55 points.
There is Dudley cutting in there nicely. Boston College with Bill the lead. We're tied at 44. Clemson shot the ball horribly in the second half, Jay, but did make a run.
Yeah, they did make a run. They shot 36% for the game, but Boston College shot 63%. Clemson played boo defense in this game. They came out and put a little trap on you, and if you didn't soil yourself, you got just about anything you wanted.
51-46, Boston College had the lead, and then 59-54, BC snaps that little skid they had going. They lost their last 2 at home, albeit to Duke and North Carolina, and now Clemson appears to have played themselves out of the discussion, at least for the time being. Aaron Gray started on the bench, but he did play about 21 minutes, got 10.6 rebounds. Jonathan Wallace steal, DeJuan Summers.
DeJuan Summers getting the pass from John Wallace. Jonathan Wallace played really well in this ball game, and I thought the defense for Georgetown was really the key.
Levette Fields knocks it out to Sam Young. Young got the start in Gray's stead. Here goes Ronald Ramon. And Gray was getting a little rest, enjoying the action as Pittsburgh had the 8-point lead, its largest of the game. But in the second half, here is Jeff Green spinning and scoring.
Well, he is so versatile. I think he has established himself as the Big East Player of the Year, and Georgetown has established themselves as the best team in the league.
Green following his own and going all the way in. 14 points, and Georgetown within 2. Then Green, the entry pass to Jesse Sappick up layup.
One of the few backdoor plays that Georgetown got in this game because Pittsburgh's defense was physical. They were bumping cutters, but there's Jonathan Wallace again. 17 points in the game. He was really an outstanding performer for JT3.
Georgetown putting on the defensive clamps down the stretch. Green had a couple of steals. Sapp finishing it off. Georgetown 61-53, and they take a 1-game lead in the Big East. And Georgia Tech and Virginia. Georgia Tech hoping to work its way off that bubble. Dave Lato and the Cavaliers trying to better their 14-1 record at home. Sean Singletary pulls his defender out of the zone. Confusion by the Jackets. Jason Kane also get in there and get the foul. Kane would finish it off. Virginia down by 3, and then J.R. Reynolds splits the defenders. Tanji Surya.
Well, you look at Virginia, they have the best backcourt in the ACC with J.R. Reynolds and Sean Singletary. They combined for 49 points today, and that was the difference in the game.
Little spinorama by Singletary. Kane has to follow to tie it at 69. And then Singletary from the corner and Soria with the rebound and the putback.
Yeah, these guards are complete basketball. They can play defense. They can shoot the three. They're starting to get production from their front court. And if they can do that, they're a complete basketball team.
So Virginia able to pull one out of the fire at the end and win by 6. Also on the outside of that bubble picture, it would seem at the moment against North Carolina State, Al Thornton. What a great season he's had. Honored on senior day. Thornton shows it to him and then sticks it home.
Yeah, Thornton was his day, 17 big points. They had to end his 5-game winning streak, taking it out on NC State.
And losing streak coming to an end as Jason Rich goes up and finishes. High Rich got on that one. Then Thornton, who's second in the ACC in scoring. Final regular season game.
You got to play him.
They didn't, not well enough. 78-52, Florida State rolls over North Carolina State. So this is now where the Seminoles stand. Jay and out it. Syracuse in the bubble from the Big East at Providence, needing a road win. Herbert Hill, the only senior for the Friars, saying goodbye and saying it in style. But keep an eye on Andy Routens. Devendorf would miss the 3 and Routens flies in to put it back. He had 19. Syracuse up 3. Here's Brian McKenzie. Rattles home the 3, first bucket of the game, ties it at 65. The Big East scoring leader going to work.
Well, Demetrius Nichols is an outstanding player. Look how he sets himself, squares up. He had a hand in his face, and it was nothing but net. That was a huge play for Syracuse on the way to a very big win.
SEC, Alabama seemingly had worked its way off that bubble, but then Auburn comes to town against Mark Gottfried's team. And Auburn, which destroyed Alabama back in January, 81-57, building a big lead. Frank Tolbert inside, Auburn up by 10. And then Quan Prowell's raised 3.
Well, when you look at Auburn, they really did a nice job of getting points in the paint. Their frontline players, 44 points and 17 rebounds against the big front line of Alabama.
They out-hustled Alabama's front line all day. Richard Hendricks tried to bring the Tide back. He had 17 points, 13 rebounds, but Josh Dollard working in traffic.
Well, when you look at Alabama, they are struggling without a healthy Ronald Steele and a rivalry game.
Oklahoma, Kelvin's old team, now led by Jeff Capel, taking on the great freshman Kevin Durant, another pretty good freshman in DJ Augustine. Texas jumped on top behind the 2 freshmen.
Well, DJ Augustine, he leads the Big 12 in assists. He can score. He had 18 points today, but you look at Kevin Durant, I think the best player in the country. He had 32 points, 10 rebounds. He's their go-to player.
And after Augustine knocks down this 3, Augustine and Durant had 21 points, and Oklahoma had 10. Here is Durant following the miss from Mason.
Yeah, he just does everything. Defensively, he can block shots. He gets to the offensive boards. He's a complete basketball player. But you look in the second half, they shot the ball well in the first half. Second half, they really struggled.
Augustine and Durant would combine for 50. Durant finishing with 32, 68-58, even with the poor shooting, still able to win comfortably. Kansas State and Colorado. Bill Walker, the highly talented freshman, has a torn ACL. K-State still trying to work their way into the tournament without him. Dwight Thorne putting Colorado up by 1. Kansas State up by 8. David Hoskins.
Hoskins plays really well. Aggressive going to the hole. 21 points as they got 36, 18 points in the paint by going to that basket.
Kansas State building the lead, now up by 13. Cartier Martin.
My favorite watch. Finally comes off the bench and scores 19.
87-71. Kansas State gets the road win. Aggies hosting Baylor. AC Law had a huge day in the second half. Aggies up by 10. Here goes Law to finish.
AC Law, I think, one of the 5 best point guards in the country, but he may be the best point guard in the country when the game is on the line in the last 5 minutes.
Kevin Rogers had a dozen. Baylor closest to within 4 under 6 minutes to go. Aggies by 6. There's Law again. Aggies building the lead. The second half of this game, it was crazy. A&M gave up 56 points in the second half, but that's okay when you score 60.
Yeah, if you outscore them. If they didn't play the kind of defense that Billy Gillespie really cajoles them to play every day, they're going to let them hear about it.
Iowa State and Kansas, Self and the Jayhawks, they won 5 in a row, average margin of victory, more than 27. Sharon Collins.
Oh, I love him.
Really?
No, just let him play the end of the games, Bill.
Let it go.
Roderick Stewart.
That's what I'm trying to tell him.
Darrell Arthur there to clean up Kansas by 16. Then Collins gets Mario Chalmers.
Well, Mario Chalmers is one of the best defenders on this team, but he also can knock down the 3. He's been doing a great job in Big 12 play.
Chalmers had 18. Brandon Rush landed awkwardly after that 3. He only had 6 points. lead the game. He'd come back in the second half. Kansas is up 41-15. Collins stepping back. He had a dozen, 89-52. Arkansas Volunteers hadn't won a road game in the conference
Where's
all
the
year.
orange jacket?
In well, that's only for big games.
Oh, okay.
Usually against Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Chris Lofton comes up with the steal in the finish.
Yes, he did. Chris Lofton, big game, 31 points. Their defense was solid. They went after it, got it done when it counted.
Mr. Glue, Dane Bradshaw, finding Lofton. He's money from there. And then Lofton, the 75-70 game will take you right down the boulevard.
Yes, he does. He's just unbelievable. He's healthy. He's back, and that's why Tennessee's back. Big win. They're now 8-6 in that conference.
And Florida coming up. Tennessee, the big road win. Stanford and UCLA. John Wooden, the 1967 championship team, being honored. Many championship teams, 10 of them for the Wizard of Westwood. Aaron Aflalo lays it in, and then Aflalo would follow with a 3-and-1.
Yeah, we talk about great backcourt, Singletary and Reynolds of Virginia. I wouldn't take any backcourt over Darren Collison and Aaron Aflalo.
Digger likes to call payback games. And, you know, UCLA took the loss in Palo Alto personally, especially Aflalo. Brook Lopez had a big game. He finished up with 23, but Josh Shipp with the steal. Luke Richard Mbamute finishing.
UCLA really turned on their defense in the second half. They allowed Stanford to shoot 50% in the first half. In the second half, really clamped down. But you're right about Brook Lopez. Of the Lopez twins, he's the better offensive player. Outstanding.
Michael Roll the save. Russell Westbrook the 3-ball. Capped off a 10-0 run, and here's Aflalo again.
Aaron Aflalo had over 20 points yet again. He's just a big-time player.
75-61. UCLA finishes its home season at 16-0. Illinois on the bubble at Penn State. One of those can't-lose games. Warren Carter, turnaround jumper, 25-9. Then Sean Pruitt would spin inside.
Yeah, well, the front line, they were too big for Penn State. They had 37 points combined and 11 rebounds. They got points in the paint anytime they wanted to.
And very little happiness in Happy Valley for Penn State team trying to slow down the Illini. 68-50. Illinois with the 18-point road victory. Purdue is on the bubble. After the loss to Iowa,
They're in.
You got a field of 900. There's Crump, the steal from Jeff Ryan. Crump, little spin cycle. Purdue goes up 33-22. Then David Teague just went off today.
Boy, he had a big day. 26 points, inside, outside. They really spread the floor against Northwestern. Got it done, taking care of business. They're 7-7 right now in the conference. They're sitting right there.
75-68. Purdue avoids one of those can't-lose games. Michigan at Minnesota. Tommy Amaker and the Wolverines probably well on the outside looking in. Need to develop some confidence, maybe make a run in the Big Ten tournament. Reed Baker, Deion Harris, 44-39 Wolverines. Then Brent Petway with the fadeaway.
Brent Petway blocked a few shots in the game. One of the few offensive opportunities that he had. Michigan did not score particularly well, but defensively they were outstanding. Deion Harris had 15 points in the ballgame. They held Minnesota to 32% from the field, blocked 10 shots. Defensively, very solid day.
It's a battle for inside track on the behind the Big East tournament. Colin Falls and all the seniors celebrating. And South Bend, Dominic James finding Wesley Matthews trying to spoil the celebration as Marquette jumped to a 17-6 lead.
Yeah, they really got in transition. They got steals, and their guards were doing a nice job of dribble penetration, getting points in the paint. But this is supposed to be senior day, but the freshmen, they really stepped up. Torrey Jackson, Luke Herringody, they're both combined for 43 points today.
Look at Russell Carter getting back for the huge cap and rejection. There's over 3 minutes to go. Colin Falls, he can hit from out there.
Yeah, he can really knock down threes, and this was a huge win for Notre Dame. They're now in fourth place to get that first round bye, and in the Big East
Mike
tournament.
Gray has done his best coaching job in the Big East. Should be coaching here in Big East, but Herringody, he takes it over, points in the paint, he's the go-to guy.
He's like a runaway bread truck in there. He had 22 points and 13 rebounds, both career high. There's Falls knocking down the three. 85-73. Notre Dame gets the victory at home. So now the Big East standings and the top 6 teams in the standings, the top 4 will get that coveted first round bye in New York.
Well, the Irish finished that at Rutgers. And, of course, Marquette has to finish where? Home against Pitt on game day next week in Milwaukee. But Syracuse, 2 tough games coming up, Jay, with Georgetown and Villanova.
Louisville's the one that interests me. 2 weeks ago, they're dead in the water. Now they're a locked third in the Big East. Amazing.
They are soaring, playing their best ball of the season. Gonzaga trying to find itself after the loss of Josh Heidfeld. Zags trying to win their 20th against San Francisco. 3 seconds left in the first. Derek Rivio, the rebound, beyond half court. I'll pay the man the State Farm money. 21 in the game for Rivio. We'd be tied at 66 going to overtime. Matt Bolden, David Pendergren.
Well, Matt Bolden had 21 points in the game, 8 of 11 from the field, and Gonzaga was 5 of 7 in overtime. That's how they won it.
Jeremy Pargo ahead of the pack. Thank you very much. 86-79. Few and Gonzaga.
Southern Illinois, senior day for Southern Illinois, winners of 10 straight. Playing the last team that beat them, Evansville. Jamal Tatum to Randall Falker. He was hot, and this is why he's hot. 30 points on 13 of 15 shooting. And Tatum with a great court vision to find him. Later second half, Salukis up 9. Tatum. He'll finish this one himself. Southern Illinois up 11. And a minute 30 remaining. It's a 4-point game. Purple Ace is still in it, but Tatum shooting them out of it. Tatum at 15. Salukis going to win at 76-67. Washington State having a great season, so maybe this is their year to finally win in Oregon State, where they had lost 8 in a row. First half, OSU up 4. Wesley Washington. He'll give it up to Marcel Jones. Beavers up 6. They led the entire first half, 16 for Jones. 9 minutes left in the second half now. Derek Lowe to Aaron Baines, and he RSVPs +1. Game tied at 45, 14 for Baines. 1 minute left to play. OSU down 2. Washington will not be denied. Game tied at 54. 40 seconds to play now. Kyle Weaver to Mac Hobson. This was the bucket that effectively put it away. Washington State goes on to win at 58-54, their first win at OSU since '98.
College hoops, number 13 Air Force at TCU. Horned Frogs getting to nail down a win for the first time in nearly 2 months. Matt McCraw and the Falcons don't want to see that happen. Second half, McCraw hits the 3. Falcons down 2. McCraw with 17. TCU, though, dialed in. Ryan Wall, the long triple try. He scored a game-high 19. Horned Frogs up 6. Moments later, Neil Doherty, the Thievery, ahead to Alvaro Parker. Yeah, TCU gets the win, 71-66. Air Force stuck on 23 wins, 1 shy of tying a school record. How about Detroit? A 15th ranked Butler. Todd Licklider's Bulldogs need a win for a share of the Horizon League title. Late first half, Mike Green with 0.6 of a second on the clock. Money. He had 13 points. Butler up 25-16 at the break. In the second half, Brandon Crone is open for 3. And Butler's up 39-23, and more from Crone with Butler pulling away the hoop and the harm. A game-high 17 for him on senior night. Butler goes on to win 56-36. More Pac-10. Washington at number 24, Oregon. Before the game, Ducks leading scorer Aaron Brooks goes to shake Ryan Appleby's hand, but is denied last March. Pac-10 tournament. Part of the reason why we spot shadow as Brooks commits a flagrant foul on Appleby. Just lowers the boom. Brooks would be ejected and suspended for the first meeting this season between the two teams. Second half, Oregon up 5. Brooks lowers his shoulder into Appleby, finishes the jumper. Brooks 30 points. Oregon wins, and Appleby won't look at Brooks post-game.
59-57. BYU San Diego State. Brandon Heath alley-oop to Jerome Hable for the Jam. Heath had 30 points. San Diego State wins it. Indiana and Michigan State. Goran Sutan touch pass to Edong Ibach. And then Drew Neitzel with the jumper. The shot clock winds down. Michigan State wins. The game day gang saw it.
Hoops number 17, Duke and St. John's. Early on, Duke 5-zip already. Josh McRoberts could have been arrested for larceny. And then Josh getting some bunnies with a Baduka reverse dunk. He had 9 points, Duke up 7 early. Check this out, McRoberts across midcourt. DeMarcus Nelson, half-court alley-oop. Nelson, 14 points, 12-0 Duke run to start the game. Avery Patterson, though, squares up. Pitch to Jay for the Johnnies. 1 of 3 field goals in the first half for St. John's from 3 land. Held to 10 points, though. 41-19 Duke. Grant Paulus, just as cool as the other side of the pillow. The former high school All-American quarterback. Paulus had 19 points. Duke cruises 67-50. Houston, number 7, Memphis. Jeremy Hunt, accompanied by his mom, senior day in his hometown of Memphis. First half, Jeremy, 3 from the wing. Sick. Memphis up by 1. Still first half. Chris Douglas Roberts with the steal. Yeast rise. Part of a 19-5 Memphis run to end the half. Second half, Memphis by 9. Douglas Roberts, pull-up jumper, baseline. Get that. He had a team-high 19 points. Still second half, Memphis by 15. Hunt, pull-up 3. And the Lord said you got to rise up. Hunt, 14 points in his final home game. Memphis wins at 77-6. Back to college hoops, Louisville and Rick Pitino off to Connecticut to face UConn. First half, Derek Character off the bench and off the charts. Character, 16 points. Louisville up 9 at the break. Second half, UConn fighting back. Jerome Dyson, 3 from the corner. Dyson at 23. We're tied at 58, but under 2 to go. Louisville, Edgar Sosa. Holler! Louisville also outscored UConn in the paint 46-22. They'd win at 76-69.
Herb Sendek and the Arizona State Sun Devils looking for their second Pac-10 win, hosting Arizona. Jaron Shipp, the pass to Serge Angunou as the shot clock expires, able to knock down 3. Marcus Williams, the inbound alley-oop to Chase Budinger, who jams it home. Arizona, a 5-point lead. Down 4, Derek Glasser throws up the 3, doesn't go, but he's fouled by Marcus Williams. You know what that means? It means 3 free throws. There's the first. 3-point game. There's the second. All right, not as perfect, but it goes down 2. So he's got to miss the third. He was so good, he actually wanted to miss, got it in. It ends in a 3-point game. But we begin with familiar faces and foes. First time in history, Big Ten schools have met in a 1-versus-2 game. Ohio State against Wisconsin, and it would be as close as their rankings, separated by 1. Here we go. Greg Oden, the Buckeyes, came in number 1. Badgers, number 2 in the nation. Scary moment in the first half. Jamar Butler, the drive, collides with Brian Butch, landed on his elbow. The staff on the sideline trying to get that elbow back in place. Watch Alondo Tucker. Thinks he has a clear path to the hoop, right? Wrong. Oden just steps into the lane. Now Tucker passes to Joe Krabbenhoff. Got the shot blocked by Oden. The other way, it's Mike Conley Jr. That's Buckeye basketball right there. Butch would return to the sidelines. Elbow obviously bandaged and hurting him. Very emotional time on that bench. 5 minutes left. Ohio State down 2. Greg Oden turned it over 5 times. Thad Matta fired up, doesn't like the call. This time Oden inside, and the call would go his way. Ohio State up 47-46 after the free throw. Oden just 11 points. Watch Jason Bohannon, misses the jumper. Jason Chappell gets the board, misses the layup. Tucker gets the board, misses the putback. Wisconsin, yet another offensive rebound, and they call timeout. They want to talk it over. All right, so here's Coach Matta. Watch the gum flying out of his mouth. Now, everybody knows about the 5-second rule, right?
Oh, especially if you got kids, man.
Right, we run the clock for you. If you pick it up within 5 seconds and put it back in your mouth, regardless of what it is, it's okay.
He could have stepped on it, left it in the court 2 seconds.
Clearly within the 5-second rule. Now watch Tucker down on the block, perfectly timed to spin to get the pass. Tucker had just 12. Badgers up 1. Just over 20 seconds left. Cameron Taylor at the line. Misses. Ohio State the board. They'll call timeout. 10 seconds left. Plenty of time for Mike Conley. Drive. Remember, the home team gets the home bounce. Conley at 11. Ohio State's up 1. Under 4 seconds left. Here's Wisconsin's chance. Taylor gets the inbound. Drives the length of the court. Watch this. Shot blocked by Ron Lewis at the buzzer. A huge defensive play to end the game. A clean block all ball. They're already number 1. The fans storm the court. As for the Conley bucket,
I had that feeling. I knew it at the timeout. I had a feeling I was going to get the ball for some reason. So, I mean, I just, went to the hole, and it worked out for us.
Coach always says to me and him are the only 2 that know what Mike Conley can do. And you see what he did the last seconds of the game. He just took over, and he took it upon himself. And that's showing how much heart he had, because he looked at me walking out, and he said, we're not losing this game.
37th time since the inception of the AP poll, the top two teams faced off against one another. Only one time way back in 1949 where there were fewer points scored in a 1-versus-2 game than there were on Sunday. The previous matchup of the top two teams was last season when Duke beat Texas. The Blue Devils scored 97 points all by themselves in that game. Back to the college kids. 5th-ranked North Carolina visiting Gary Williams in Maryland. Terps seeking their first 5-game win streak since 2002. You know, they won the national title there. Brandon Wright, the jam. North Carolina was up 9. DJ Strawberry, the drive, no look to James Gist. Maryland's down 5. On to the second half. Rayshon Terry going up for the basket. Ekene Ebekwe, the huge rejection. Grievous Vasquez the other way to Strawberry. Lay it up and in. We're tied at 48. Now tied at 52. North Carolina in the transition. This is kind of like LeBron in transition. Right, the flying dunk. Up 2. Under 8 minutes to go. Ty Lawson, alley-oop to Wright. North Carolina up 12. Their largest lead in the game, right? That's with 7 minutes left. But here come the Terps. Mike Jones from 3. Here's Strawberry from 3. Jones jumper. 1-point game. Strawberry, little ball fake, gets it to go. He had a career-high 27, and he had the lead. Wright going strong to the basket. Fouled by Strawberry. So Wright's going to go to the line. He's a 56% free throw shooter. So you figure they misses one and makes one, right? Here's the odds. Here's the first free throw in the 2-point game. Misses the first one. Second free throw. Misses that. Loose ball. Scramble. Clock expires. Ball game. Terps' resume gets a major boost. They improved to 3-1 against ranked opponents this season.
Fear the Turtle, fear the Commodores. Kentucky, number 21, Vanderbilt. Kentucky 0-5 against top 25 teams this season. Early first half, Ramel Bradley with the steal. Crazy no-look pass to Bobby Perry, who sinks the paint in old-school 3-point play. Wildcats coming in. They've lost 3 straight to Vandy. 3:30 left in the second half, tied at 59. Bradley, 3. You saw an old-school 3-point play. That's an old-school 4-point play. Wildcats up 4 after the free throw. 30 seconds left. Derek Byers misses the freebie. But, yo, you got to man up. Byers had 26 points. Vandy, its first lead of the game. Vanderbilt up 2, final seconds. Bradley takes to the paint. Cannot sink the shot. Kentucky loses 4 straight to Vanderbilt for the first time in 33 seasons. Commodores win at 67-65.